All right, we'll go ahead and jump in. I think we're leveling off a little bit. So welcome everyone. This is our first feature release webinar we've done. Probably it's since Q1, I believe. The last ones we've done landing pages and interactive videos. And so this release is kind of a big one. It's almost as large as our Q1 release, which had over 100 plus features. So we decided that the landing pages and the emails weren't enough, and we wanted to jump in and talk with you guys and see how it's going. It's also, Q3, so we're getting ready to wrap the year pretty soon. I know most of you are all in probably budget season, which is very exciting and also probably stressful for you. So hopefully everything is going well. We did have a budget webinar last week that was pretty cool, and we had Vishnu take us through tons and tons of information about budgeting, so hopefully that was helpful. But today it's all about the Q3 feature release, so let's jump in and get started. So I am Adam Pierce. You probably recognize me from other webinars. So I'm the product marketing manager. I work with our product team on rollouts like feature releases, or also work with our customers and serve as that kind of medium point between product and customers. And I am joined by a very familiar face to all of you, hopefully. If not, it will be by the end of this webinar, and she'll be your new best friend, is Nicole Beal. Now, Nicole is our Enumerate expert, and she's also our solutions architect. So Nicole has generously decided to help us out, and she will be doing a demo of all the features that we're going to be covering today.
Most of the features.
With a little bit of caveat that we can't cram all 100 into this webinar, but we're going to do as many as that we can. And then also, the features have been live for about a week. There is a landing page set up, a series of landing pages. We had to use 5 because there are so many. If you haven't visited them, they're all listed. They're linked to KBAs, which are knowledge-based articles. And I did put that link in the chat. If you didn't get it for some reason, if you've opted out of our email, or you didn't receive them, or it didn't trickle down, and if you are opted out of email and you would like to be opted back in, just let us know either in the survey at the end of the call or in this chat or question and answer. We'll make sure that those emails get to you. So what is this feature release all about? So I'm going to try to keep it brief, Nicole, because I really want to see you, but I do want to kind of give some backup of what we focused on for this quarter. So 4 main areas: accounting and payments, operations management, which is the biggest one, resident engagement, and then second largest is reporting and analytics. So these are the areas that the product team worked with many customers. I've got some of their names listed, and I'll do some call outs on these features. Over half of them, I think 60% of them, are direct feature requests that we've partnered with you and your employees on creating for this quarter. So let's go ahead and jump into them. So just mentioning, over half of the features are customer requests, and the other ones are, it's been a big year for regulations. I'm sure you know that, especially if you're in Florida or California or Texas. So we've been adding different feature requests and different features to our software platform based on these main categories: customers, improving the user experience. If some of you've noticed, we've got some new UIs and abilities to navigate through the software with this release and last release. New features, of course, we're always coming up, trying to stay ahead of trends and technology. And then, as I mentioned, regulations are dictating features coming out frequently. So that's kind of how we bake a feature release. And now we'll just jump into what's included in this quarter. First and most important, our bread and butter is accounting, which is the core of our software. We have released several new features in our accounting and our payments section, including accounts receivable and accounts payable. So within this, everything from, let's say, our billing statements, adding codes, names, and charge types, to a bank reconciliation update. So the key improvements include, better billing and payment tracking, prevention of duplicate payments, which was a request, and also modernized community payment enrollment. So before you had to go through multiple screens, all of these are really focused on a better, cleaner UX and less clicking. And then also a lot of customization. When you see those stars, those are actually requests from customers requesting different things to be customized or updated to make it easier for you kind of to move through your daily operations for accounting and for payments. We've also improve some search functionality. That was a big one from our last request and webinar that you guys wrote in about. And so now searching functionality and invoice management has made some changes to where you can navigate and update financial information a little easier. Let's go to the next. So this one is kind of the big one. You notice we put the big 30 beside it because I was counting them up when we were kind of going through this and saying what we're going to talk about, what we're going to feature. There's over 30 features just for operations management alone. A lot of work and requests went into ARC and CC&R. You'll see quite a bit about that. The batching and the single, how we process them, how you do attachments and store them, and even tag them. We've made new features like managing group owners, updates, and it easier to handle more complex property management tasks. These updates are designed really to minimize manual effort and to improve response times, communication internally with your departments, as well as with residents and homeowners, and just everyday to-day operations. We've partnered with many of you guys. Just to name a few, we've got Voight Pacific, Central Phoenix, Harbor Management. I saw you on here, Derek. Carriage Manor, so many more. So a big shout out to all of you guys for helping us. I'm going through these pretty quickly because we've got Nicole lined up to kind of show you them in action. So we'll go ahead and go next to reporting and analytics, which is our second biggest area that we focused on. Lots of some big changes and then some small changes that make a big impact. So our latest with reporting analytics is focused on improving clarity. So you'll see new tooltips in there. You'll see definitions, as well as new financial metrics and columns and totals. We introduced tools for generating global reports, adding new filtering options, and provide more detailed summaries for key reports like the aged payables, and enhancing the collection status report, which will actually tell you what delivery method was used during the collections. Users can now easily access grand totals, which was a big request coming off of last quarter, and export data in multiple formats. So I think we've had, different choices from PDFs to now Excel was added with some of them. And so you really can manipulate the data even further if you want to out of the system. We did work with, some call outs. We did work with Commonwealth, Phoenix, Florida Advanced Properties, Resort Management, River Ridge, and Homestead. They kind of helped with all of those. With our Engage product, we did a couple of things. This is where regulations came in this quarter too. We added a few features such as the being able to set up a new option for club. That was a request from one of our customers for community type. And then more importantly, as Nicole sits in Florida preparing for the hurricane coming her way, we did add an ability in Engage to quickly get at your emergency contact info in case you do need to send out emergency notifications or messages. So that's kind of very important, especially right now, Nicole, as she ran to the grocery store last night to get milk and bread. I'm not sure how that can help you in a hurricane, but also, we did some things to the community feed notifications, so people will be notified when statuses or that something changes with the community feed. And then we did some ADA compliance updates for regulation. Really, this was focused on helping like the visually impaired and audience and making things a little easier for them in accessibility, including the accessibility statement. So, so lots of great changes with the resident engagement as we continue to grow communications on both sides, both with the homeowners and then also with you and your management company to stay in touch. Lastly, but not leastly, this actually now has its own page because we've been adding so much to vendor management. All the tools and organizational tools that we've added over the past year, we continue to do so in efforts to help organize, streamline your vendors, your vendor payments, your entire accounts payable process, whether you're using our Automate AP or you're using just our standard accounts payable process. But a few things that we've done there is custom tags. You can manage those and organize them a little easier. Also cleanup. So if you're no longer using custom tags that you've created in the past, you can now just get rid of them so they don't clutter up. You can mass update in one page now, which is kind of convenient, so you don't have to click 99 times to update all your vendors. You can do it in one sweep. And then some reporting that we added, the ability to set distribution, bill distribution, and then also hide accrue toggle to have a clearer perception of prepaids and how they are going to impact reporting and then also your balances. So that should be the main characters. I tried to keep it under 10 minutes. I think I did because we're at 112. So right now we're going to let Nicole take over. And Nicole, will you show us some of these in action?
Yeah, absolutely. And it was bread, milk, and peanut butter. You gotta have peanut butter.
Yeah, jelly.
Already had that, but peanut butter is a staple that you need.
All right, well, I'll let you take over and show us what we got this feature release.
Can you see my screen? Did I share the right one?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I figured I did, but otherwise I'd be looking at myself twice. Okay, so we're going to go through a decent number of the features that we released last week. Don't have time to go through all of them, so we kind of hand selected a few that we thought would be the most impactful for you guys, for our customers. The first couple that I'm going to go through are more kind of admin type features. The first one being the enablement for the Enumerate payments. So you might have noticed that you see these banners up here to help you set up the Enumerate payments, which allow your homeowners to make electronic payments through their homeowner portal or in Engage website, or you can process those payments for them through the central program. In order to do that, you need to sign up for Enumerate payments. So we have these banners, and then for the sign up process, once you've signed up and got your payment ID set up, then we've created one screen to fill out all of the important information, the beneficial owners information and other info that Zego needs in order to get everything fully set up for the electronic payments. So rather than kind of a step through process, it's all on one page now. So that was the first change that was made for the enablement. And then the second change was on enabling the communities and getting the communities turned on for Enumerate payments. So once your account is all set up and you're ready to turn it on for the different communities, your managed payments will take you to the screen that will allow you to set it up for your communities. What's nice is you've got these filters here for not enrolled versus enrolled. So the first time you do that setup, you're going to have to set it up for the bulk of your communities, for all of your communities if everybody's going to use it. But then as you take on new communities, you're not going to have to scroll through to find that new community to set them up. They will be not enrolled yet. In addition, you can scroll through the communities as well. So as you start to get those communities set up, get them enrolled, you can scroll through. It will list each of the bank accounts that are set up in the community, and then you set the AR charge codes that would go to those bank accounts. So when the homeowners sign up for auto pay, if they auto pay the maintenance fee and the special assessment, for example, the maintenance fee can go into the maintenance fee bank account and the special assessment can go into the special assessment bank account. So it just makes it easier for you to do that setup to get those communities enabled so that the homeowners can use those electronic payment features, which of course all automatically post in the central program and requires you to do no work to process those electronic payments. That's the goal.
I was going to say, that's the goal, right? No work.
No work. No work.
Ward or scare people, but the auto pay after how many days, if you put it less than the notch of compliant range, you will get a warning. It'll let you proceed, but you will get a warning. So
yeah. Yep, exactly. So, and there's a little info here, and it tells you that, and the minimum is 3 days, just because there's also a notification process that's built into the system. So charges get applied, a notification goes out to the homeowners that are signed up, reminding them that they're signed up for auto pay and that there's nothing for them to do. But it also gives them an opportunity to unenroll from auto pay. So if they are selling their home and they don't want that auto pay to occur this month, they can unenroll. And then of course there's a receipt that goes out to the homeowners after the fact.
However, the new homeowners would probably appreciate if they continue to pay the fees.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the new homeowner would certainly appreciate it if the old homeowner continued to pay those fees. Okay, so next, again, it's another somewhat administrative feature, but you don't need administrative rights to do it, and that's going to be in the notifications. So in your little gear up here is where you set the notifications that you do or don't want to receive from the system. And so we've got 2 new notifications that were added in this release. So the first one is for service request and work order updates. If that is turned on, it's going to be similar to the CC&R update that was released a month or 2 ago. So what'll happen is users will receive a daily email that contains the records where homeowners have either submitted an updated, a new work order or updated a work order or service request through the comment feature. So those comments, those updates, they do show up on your homepage under tasks, but this also allows you to receive a daily summary email that contains that information if you don't check your tasks or if you set your homepage to like the community actions dashboard or the community profile page or something like that, where you don't remember that the system has tasks. It does. It has a task system. The other one is on the auto reconciliation. So it was set up where our users would get messages when the reconciliation was successful and when there was an issue with the reconciliation. And so now customers have asked, we know it's successful, it's been successful, we appreciate the success, but maybe just tell me when it's not successful. So you can turn off those success messages and just get the notifications when the auto reconciliation isn't successful. It found out something that didn't match, or something that wasn't there that it could automatically reconcile.
Yeah. Oh, in a day and age when we want great news, I guess it's what we found out was it's a little distracting to have it going off all the time, especially if it's set to be automatic, right? So it's one way to get less. I get nervous whenever I get warning messages, so I'd rather I'd rather not have PTSD from it myself. So yeah.
Yep, I'm with you. So the community index page, the listing of communities, you'll see this looks a little bit different. Last time we updated the card view. This time we updated the list view so that you can access the community fact sheet from the list view. So that's been updated so that you can access that community fact sheet now from both the list view and the card view. So that's a nice change. I personally on the communities prefer the list view from the cards. It's a little bit more compact. So if you're like me, you can still access that community fact sheet information now if you're set up for the list view. Also, on the communities, well, anywhere really, that there's an attachment gallery in the view all of the attachments. In the filters area, you can search for an attachment or a group of attachments by tag. So you have all of your, if you didn't know about this, in view all, you've got all kinds of sorting and filtering of your document attachments. If you use the tags to keep them organized, then you can now, search for a particular tag, right? I'll search for balance, for example. We'll do balance sheet, we'll apply, and now it's just going to filter for those documents that are marked or tagged as balance sheet. So it makes it a little bit easier to find a group of documents. And then of course you can see this is not a new feature, but you can select the documents, you can select all of the documents, and under the actions area is everything that you can do with those documents. Download, edit, move, publish it to the website, all of that.
What's the storage capacity, Nicole?
It's unlimited. It's
Oh,
unlimited. That's one of the nice things about the Enumerate Central program is the data storage is unlimited. So you can go completely paperless and put everything out here on the web and then access it from everywhere because it's also a mobile responsive design. So on your mobile phone, you don't have to scroll left, right. It reformats itself based on your device.
sweet. Yeah.
Yep, very nice. So next is on the homeowners, right, on the property profile page. So this is the page about all of about this particular home within one of the communities. On the property profile page, we've added links to the architectural requests and the general requests related to this particular home. So now from the property profile page, you can jump to the architectural requests on that home. There's filters here on the architectural requests, so you can filter based on a date or range of dates. So if I wanted to see not just the most recent architectural requests related to this home, but all of the architectural requests related to this home, then I can easily use the filters to find those, and you can see it is set for just the one home. So you've got quick access now to those architectural requests and general requests related to a particular home. On the owner's index page, so the listing of all of the people within a particular community, we updated the card view to display which owners are group owners. And you'll see also, right, it's always displayed the owners that are on the board on the different committees, but we've updated the colors here. It used to be a really dark green. It kind of made it a little bit difficult to read. So we updated the colors so that it's a little bit easier to read now. And now you can see also this person is a group owner and on the board, this person's a group owner. So you can see the group owners at a glance from that index page.
And why would that be helpful? What about group owners, Nicole? What would be an example?
Yeah, so a group owner is a person that owns multiple homes within the community, right? If it's condominium, multiple units, maybe they rent them out. So it just allows you to kind of see from that particular owner profile, and we'll click into ones that you can see. So from that particular owner profile, it'll display all of the homes that that person owns. So you can easily see, if one home is potentially delinquent, maybe a payment got processed where one home has a credit and one home is delinquent and you need to move that payment around. Or when you're generating an invoice out to that homeowner, if you don't want to create a separate invoice for each and every home, so for this guy it would be 3 invoices, I can create one invoice that contains the balances for each of the units and the breakdowns of those balances, and that way he gets one mailing, not 3. It makes it easier for everybody.
So you can consolidate communications a little easier. Oh, cool.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Absolutely. Now, also, you'll see here, I've got this scroll. So we had updated, again, I think the last release of the one prior to that, the ability to scroll through properties when you select them from the index view. Now you can scroll through the owners as well. So when you select an owner from the index view, you can scroll through the owners. The owners are going to be in the sort order that they were in from that owner index page. So if you had that index page sorted by address, then as I scroll through it, it'll scroll through based on address or account number or name. If it was filtered, it'll scroll through the ones that were filtered. So you'll be able to scroll through the owners as well as the properties, by the way. Anybody notice Cheddar Biscuit?
I'm waiting for Cheddar Biscuit to jump up on screen again.
Yeah, no, Landscaper was here, so Cheddar Biscuit's not going to be making an appearance, but we brought her in anyway.
Very dedicated to be doing landscaping during hurricanes.
Yeah, exactly. One other thing on the owners is on the email addresses. If the owner has multiple email addresses set up, we've had this send email copies feature. It's been there for years. What the email copies does is when you send an email to the homeowner, if this send email copies is on, you just have to email their one primary email address, and then the ones that are set up for copies will also get emailed whatever it is that you're sending out to them. So we updated the send email copies also for architectural request notices. So when you send out the notice that we received the architectural request, or that it was approved or disapproved, those notices will also go out to the emails that have that copy on. So the owner will receive that email multiple times, well, singular, at each email address that he has on file that has that turned on. All right, so now we're moving into accounts payable. Accounts payable and vendor information. As Adam said, we've kind of done a lot of releases recently around accounts payable. And so this first one is related to the edit all view of your vendor listing. So I don't know if you know, but there's this little pencil icon over here on your vendor index page that will allow you to do mass editing to the vendors. We've added the tag to the edit all page, which will allow you then to go through and edit or add tags to all of your vendors. So if you have a vendor where there are no tags selected, or you want to add additional tags or update the tags, then you can do it kind of en masse here. I've seen people use tags, like I use them just to categorize the different kinds of vendors, because I don't have a ton. But if you have a lot of vendors, you might want to create a tag, because you can create custom tags for preferred vendors, right? If there's a landscaper that you have a good relationship with, you know they're going to do a good job, you can set them up as the preferred vendor. Or electricians, there's lots of electricians out there, not all of them are good. You can set up your preferred vendors as a preferred vendor, and also electrician, plumber, landscaper, whatever they happen to be, and you can set those tags kind of in that edit all area. Next is on the vendor profile page itself. So we've got a vendor selected here where you have your default distributions. Now your default distributions are the default expense accounts that the system will use to assign to invoices when you create an invoice with this vendor, or whether the Automate AP OCR technology ingests an invoice and creates it for you. It will expense to the default distributions. They're set up by community, because every community does not necessarily have the exact same chart of accounts. So each community is set up with their default expense distributions. We've updated this now to also include bill type. So when those invoices come in for these vendors, you can set the default bill type. So if it's a special project going on where every single invoice needs to be paid on a separate check, when those invoices come into the system, they'll automatically be marked as separate check invoices. Or invoices that you have set up on auto pay, right? The electricity, the utilities, the water, and the like, if those are set up on auto pay, you can have those automatically when they're ingested into the system, set up as handwritten checks. So you can just update them with auto pay, mark them as paid, and move on. You won't have to do the adjustment there. So that's just a really quick, easy setup for those invoices. In your AP inbox, when a bill is accrued, you now have the ability to change the state of the bill at that time. So we've ingested an invoice. I'm in the internal approval inbox right now. I'm going through as the property manager, reviewing these bills. This one, my grouchy garbage collection invoice, is on auto pay. We're not going to be cutting a check for it, so I can go ahead and I can change the type right here to handwritten check. I can enter in the check number, which is going to be auto pay, and I can save the changes right here. So it's in an accrued status, it's not posted, but when I save the changes, it will post, because it's going to be marked as paid as an auto pay. So that's an update to make it a lot easier for you to kind of manage those accrued bills. And then if I move to my inbox, in my inbox, we've also added the ability to ingest credit memos. So when a credit memo comes in from a vendor, it will come in as a credit memo, a negative amount, and it will show as the bill type of credit memo. So credit memos will now come in through the OCR ingestion, and also you can select the credit memo along with an invoice. So when you go to make digital payment on it, you can select them both, and the digital payment will be the difference between the two.
That's good. Gina wrote in, that was the first thing she wrote in was, are we going to be covering applying credits? So Gina, did that help? If not, just send another question back and then we'll get it during the Q&A portion.
Yeah, I mean, just, applying credits, right? So that is obviously you can't make a negative payment, right? So if you're applying a credit to an invoice or invoices, the total amount has to be greater than the credit amount, because you can't pay somebody no money, or so so it's got to be at least $1. It's got to come out to at least $1 that you're paying out in order to apply the credit memos to all of your invoices. Yeah. All right, so that was everything I had that I wanted to cover in accounts payable. So now we're going to move over to the management side of things, right? Adam said we had 30 releases. You can see I do not have 30 tabs left open, so we're not going to go through all of them.
Come on.
I know. I'm already taking too much time. So yes. So on service requests and work orders, right? So we updated service requests. So when you take a service request and you convert it to a work order, the attachments that you have on the service request will come over and attach to that newly created work order. So you can see I'm in the add work order screen. The attachment is here. So I'm not going to have to then download it from the service request and upload it to the work orders for that attachment information to be there. It will create. If I don't want it, I can delete it out when I'm creating that work order, but those attachments will now automatically come over for you when you create those work orders from the service requests. In a release, again, previously this year, we did update the ability for homeowners to submit those service requests through the Engage portals and websites with images. So they could always submit the service request, but they can attach an image now too. So those images that come in that are on the attached service request, when you create a work order, those will attach too. We also updated the work order creation and edit for a parts list. So now when you create a work order, you can add parts to that work order, and those parts will be on the work order page that you print and give to the maintenance man, or that you email to maintenance or whomever. And that way, when they get the work order, they can see what supplies to pull to take care of the work that needs to be taken care of. They don't have to go out, look at it, evaluate, go back to the shed, get the parts. They can just bring it all with them. So it's a way to more easily, more efficiently, I guess, get your work orders completed by your team members. And then on the work orders tickets page, which is the listing of all of the work orders in the community, you can see we've got the selection here. So you can select multiple work orders, all the work orders, and close those in batch. So if you've got a bunch of work orders, you need to do some cleanup. Maybe you only close out the work orders monthly instead of as they're completed, or maybe you've just had a backlog and haven't gotten to it. I don't know. For me, I just got so much other stuff to do that the work order is kind of fell by the wayside. You can go ahead and close all of those in batch, so you don't have to do them one by one. So that's super nice.
End of year cleanup's coming anyway, right? So just whop them out, start fresh.
Absolutely, absolutely. End of year will be here so soon now that we're in budget season.
Right, right.
So speaking of batches, batch entry of CC&Rs is in this release. So you can still create a CC&R individually, but you can see now it's new CC&R records. So when you go from your CC&R tickets view, there is the ability to select a bunch of different records. Under the filters, there's a search. So if you just want to select an individual home, you would use the search just like you would on the Add CC&R page. Just search, find that home, select just that home. If you need to create a bunch of violations under the same code, then this allows you to create all of those violations in batch. You don't have to select the home, create the violation, select the home, create the violation. This will do it all in batch. So I'm just going to grab a bunch of, kind of random homes here. We're just going to, choose some people. And then we're going to go to the next step and we're going to select the CC&R code. So basketball's over. I mean, come on, it's over. It's starting soon, but it's over right now. Get your hoops off of the street. So we're going to create a bunch of basketball hoop violations, and we're going to save that. Now, if it found an open violation on one of the homes that we selected, then rather than creating a new CC&R, we can just go ahead and edit that the CC&R details on that particular one. So you've got the option as to how you're going to do it, if you're going to create or if you're going to edit the existing one. Once it's created all of those violation letters, it's going to take you back to the CC&R tickets page, and all of those violations are now selected. So you can immediately go to take action, put them in a batch, and generate the letters to go out to all of those homeowners. So it creates the violation, keeps them selected, and allows you to generate the letters quickly and easily. So you can create the violations in batch, you can get the letters out in batch. Create the next group of violations in batch, get the letters out in batch. So it makes it that much easier to go through the violations process if you're not using field ops. I had to throw that in there.
Just time for Halloween decorations, and then right around holiday decorations coming up for season. So now you can get them all in one batch. So
Yep, exactly. Although mostly it's the Christmas decorations that go up at Halloween.
yeah, or in the stores.
Yeah, yep. Okay, so reporting, right? Reporting was the other really big bucket of new features, and there were a lot of changes, updates, improvements to the reports. So the first one that I want to talk about is going to be the income statements. On all of the income statement reports, we added a new fund type filter here, which will allow you to generate the reports, the income and the expense report by fund. So the funds themselves get set up on the general ledger, your GL accounts, your chart of accounts, that where you set up the funds. Generally, the funds are related to the balance sheet. It creates a balance sheet with different columns for the different funds. With this, what it'll do is it'll create an income statement for just that particular fund. So you have income for, like, for example, the operating fund, and then expenses for just the operating fund. So it'll allow you to create a separate income statement for your operating, a separate income and expense statement for your reserves, for your special assessment, and any other funds that you might want to generate income and expense statements for. This was requested a lot. So now you have it. Shout out to the gals at Main Street. It was all them. We got it done in a week. The next report is the vendor history report. So we updated the vendor history report to allow you to hide the accrued invoices. So again, the accrued invoices, they're not posted. They don't really make an impact on the accounting until they are posted, they're generally in the approval process, internal approval, board approval process. If you want to show those on the vendor history so that you know, you're aware of the invoices that are in the system that are maybe through approval, then you can show them. Otherwise, you can hide them if you just want a vendor history of things that have actually been paid or about to be paid. From here, we have the owner summary report, which is really just kind of an owner roster. The report, when you're showing renters, is designed to just show the current renter on the home, so who it is that's actively in the home at present, owner or renter, or, you know, both, I don't know. Now you can include previous renters as well. So if you want that history of renter information, you can show them on this report too.
And this report also shows, I can't remember when we added the payments column on the right. It was a release or two ago, and it shows who signed up for online payments, which is a great tool to use if you're having issues with late payments, or if you want your residents to sign up for auto pay, et cetera. You can use this to find out who has and who hasn't signed up. And it's a good tool to use to get your homeowners on board with online payments. So.
Yep, and it's a great thing to include in the past due notices too, right? Like we're sending you this letter because we didn't receive your payment. Want to guarantee we receive the payment? Sign up for auto pay.
Right, exactly.
Cash receipt journal. This is the report related to your AR receivables, your cash receipts. We did add the ability to turn on the cost center summary with that report. So if you want it summarized by cost center, you can do that now on your cash receipt journal report. The collections status report has been updated. There's a tooltip here on month delinquent to better explain how that is calculated. So when the boards ask you where you got that number, you can explain how the system does the months delinquent. And then delivery method has been added here as well. So you can see when the letters were emailed or printed and put in the mail. That's going to show on your collection status report. We have the architectural request and the general request reports. This update was added to both of those, and it's a search up here for a specific home. So just like you can go to the architectural request for a specific home from the property profile page, this will allow you to report on the architectural requests or general requests for a particular home within the community. So it just makes it a lot easier. If you've got one home that has a lot of requests, you can report on just that one home.
Nice.
And then finally, report-wise, we've got 2 new global reports. If you didn't know, global reports is in your report menu under global, and that's going to be your total transaction amount and your total transaction count reports. Total transaction amount is going to give you by community the total amounts during the date range that you have set up here in the report parameters, dollar amounts for AP payments, lockbox cash receipts, manual cash receipts, debits, credits, and grand total across the board of those payments, those debits, those credits. The total transaction count report is just the number of transactions. So you have it in dollars and kind of quantity of transactions. So you can see across your different communities how many transactions it is that are coming in. Helps you make better decisions when it comes to what you're charging the associations for the work that you're actually doing, because it shows you what you're actually doing.
I didn't think about that. That's a good use case. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Give yourself a raise, people. This
yes.
is how. Yeah.
Do it. And then, so that's I mean, there are a lot more in Central, but those were the ones that I wanted to focus on just based on the amount of time that we had. A couple of things that I wanted to mention in Engage, which is the homeowner facing platform. That's going to be your portals, your Engage portals, and your Engage websites. We did update Engage, so the homeowners now under their profile profile will be able to enter in the emergency contact and emergency contact phone number information. And that way, if, you know, God forbid something happens, they fall on the pool deck, or you know there's a welfare check or something, you know who to reach out to in case of emergency for those individual homeowners. So reach out to your homeowners, you know, let them know that it's there, ask them to fill out this emergency contact information so that you as a manager with admin access will be able to access that in case of an emergency. It allows them to give you that information. So that was in this update. And then something else that I wanted to call out wasn't in this update, but it is something that we added to the Engage portals, the Engage websites, and that I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of it. When you go to add a post to your community or communities, however you choose to make those posts, in the content library templates, we have these Enumerate Engage intro posts, and the very first one is for payments. So, you know, as we mentioned, the AR payments, the electronic payments, the homeowners are making the payments, and you don't have to do anything to post those into the program to update the homeowners' ledgers to show that that payment was made. This will, you know, send out to the homeowners. It makes that announcement. It's got the steps on how they sign up for auto pay. So if you want the homeowners to sign up for auto pay so the association gets their money faster and more reliably, and you don't have to do any extra work to do it, use this template. Use this template, notify your homeowners, get them to sign up for auto pay. It's going to take a load of work off of you.
Yep.
And as you can see, no more tabs. That was everything that I was hoping to show. And I got through it with a little bit of time left over for questions.
Yeah, we have several questions. I think we got the credit memos answered, maybe. Someone did ask, does the ER contact info feed enumerate from Engage? I bet they're asking, does it go into Central? And
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't.
so the emergency contact information at this point does not come into Central. It is just in Engage. But in the Central program, you'll notice on your left-hand menu, you've got the kind of at the bottom below automation, you've got Engage right there. So you can easily, if you're logged into Central, just hit that Engage button. It logs you into Engage as an admin, and you can quickly do a member search to find a person and access their emergency contact info. So it's not like you have to, you know, log in somewhere that you're not normally logged in. It's really easy to get there from Central.
Can these fields be mandatory, not optional? Griselda, I think that you're probably asking about the emergency contact. Right now, I think they are optional, but we definitely can take that back to the product team. We can even add a tooltip if you would like for us to say something about update your emergency contact. We'll be glad to add that into the software with our in-app messaging. So I can take that one and make something happen with it for you, Griselda. How do you clean up your tasks? Nicole, that's all you.
Yeah, so you can do that from the home page. So on the home page, when you first log into Central, right, that's the page that has the KPIs at the top with communities and vendors and service requests and work orders and CC&Rs. Right below that is My Tasks, and it's actually contracted. So you would just click My Tasks to expand it, and that's where you're going to find all of your tasks. So we made it so you have to want to see them. And then from there, because it is a website, right, you can right click and open them all in different tabs to review the tasks, take action on them, and close them out.
Okay. How do you get into the vendor edit all feature? I bet that's the main big large screen that you showed.
Yep, so you just go to your vendor index page. So under accounts payable, you go to vendors, it's on your vendor index page. And from there, it's a little pencil icon to the left of filters up at the top. So you would just click that little pencil icon right there. It's gonna pop up with a little tooltip that says edit all. You click on that, that icon and that'll take you to that edit all screen.
Okay. Hannah, same about tasks? Can they be cleared in a batch?
Not at this time.
Let's see what we got from Jim Moore. How do you tag attachments in the gallery?
So you can do that individually, or you can do that in bulk. So what you're going to do is from the gallery, you're going to want to click View All to take you to the page of all of your attachments. And you can multi-select the attachments, so you can filter and do a select all, or you can individually pick. And then from the actions menu, you should have the option to add tag. You should be able to add all of the tags there.
Both Hannah and Dennis are asking about the new resident ID and what is its purpose.
Yes, yeah. So you've noticed on the primary owners, we've added a new resident ID, and that kind of surfaces the back end ID that the program uses to differentiate each of the primary owners from each other within your portfolio. So we're planning on coming out with a new lockbox feature, and I can say this because I know Jill talked about it in our AR webinar, so I'm not giving you insider information. But so with Zego, who does the back end for electronic payments, they also offer a lockbox service. So for those of you that work with local banks that don't offer bank lockbox, but you would like to stop processing checks in your office, this will allow you to have the homeowners mail their checks to the Zego lockbox for Zego to process those check payments. And again, it's going to automatically feed into your central program, so you don't have to do anything. You don't have to touch those checks. You don't have to make deposits, and you don't have to update the homeowner accounts. So that's coming soon, hopefully sometime in the fourth quarter. We'll see with development and testing. These take, we want to make sure we get it done right, but that's our hope anyhow, is fourth quarter. You'll be seeing that.
Sweet. Okay, well, there's a few more still piping in, and so what we'll do is, we're about at time, we'll get these answers to you. Some of them are a little more detailed, so we'll get into those and we'll answer you back. We always do send a replay. I know Mike just left. He was having issues with audio, so we'll send a replay of the webinar that you can rewatch, or you can, if you want to see how Nicole does some of her new tricks, you can watch it, pause it, play it. And then also we have a few things coming up. We may be in your neighborhood. So in October, we'll be at Tucson, Arizona at a CAI event, the COMC. If you are out and about and want to come and say hi, please do so. We will also be doing another product overview webinar. And what that is Nicole takes us through. It's for a lot of new people who just came on, loved these webinars, they're very helpful, but also in case you've missed something or you want additional training, Nicole takes us through the entire Central program and solution, and shows the best ways and methods, and gives tools and tips on how to get your daily operations completed. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at marketing@goenumerate.com. You can call us at a 1-800 number. You also have a customer success manager that you can reach out to. If you don't know who yours is, we'll be glad to tell you and help you get in that direction. We also have free training. Eve is our customer training manager, and she does online training weekly. So if you want to find out more about that, feel free to go to our website and to support, and we can get you set up for additional training. And it's really easy going training. It's whatever you need her to cover, and also she covers a few topics. So with that said, thank you, everybody. We look forward to seeing you on the next webinar, the next feature release. We've got some stuff coming up, and we will talk to you then. Everyone have a great day. Thanks, Nicole.
Bye. Thank you.